So
Awesome.
let's do so. Session 2, pitch ready course. So how is everybody? Just just to hear, and I saw some in the chat and on Facebook, still something about the taglines and defining the topic. So don't worry. We create space, no problem. Thank you, Renata, for your video. I hope you were able to watch the recording and get benefit from it. Wonderful. So can you say a little bit about yourself so we have a bit of a background from you?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm Renata Trebbing. I'm all the way over here in Houston, Texas. So I'm an intuitive nutrition coach and healthy food blogger. And I've started my business, which is called Nourish with Renata, and had it for about 3 years now, where I do nutritional coaching and meal plans for women. As I shared in my video in the Facebook group, I'm really passionate about helping women finally understand the foods that really help their bodies, that give them the energy that they need during the day. Because so often I look around either at the women that I know or, just hearing women's stories when, we're on Facebook groups or other things like that, and hearing how lost they feel when it comes to knowing what foods to eat, what foods are the quote unquote right foods to eat. And I think we get lost a lot of the time because there's so many different people coming at us saying, no, you should eat this way, or no, you should eat that way. So I really wanted to share this perspective that it's not necessarily about what other people tell you to eat. It's about understanding how your own body responds to food and leaning into those foods to help you to feel your best, instead of just trusting, what Pinterest says or, what some social media influencer says. So that's something really, really important to me. I loved the recording from last week. Thank you so much for that. It was so great to hear everybody else's stories. And then to dive into the homework, I was able to find a lot of TEDx, either salons or sessions around the Texas area, which is great. Many of them, as I noted in the Facebook group too, didn't list their themes, but there were a few that did. So I'm excited to kind of dive into my particular topic and figure out how can I make that mesh with the theme of the conferences that I'd found.
Perfect. Well done. Well done. You found something. And sometimes salons only do just showing videos from other TED Talks.
Cool.
At least in the Netherlands. That's what they do in salons often. And you can have a license for a smaller audience. A salon is, I think, up to 100, and there is a 100 audience, a 500 and 1,000 or 1,000 plus audience. So depending on the license and experience they have a large or smaller event, and also online they have to. So yeah, interesting to see. And what themes did you find after all? What kind of themes?
Okay, so one theme which I thought was really interesting, and I double checked to make sure this was actually for this year, but the theme is called 2020 Vision, a New Energy. So I thought that was interesting. Um, and this is actually based in West Texas, which is a big hub for oil and gas. So I wondered if they were trying to refer to like alternative energies, but they didn't provide, some additional information as to what they mean by a new energy. So I thought that was the only one that had a specific theme that I'd found. And I did also find a salon that was virtual, as you mentioned.
Yeah. And in energy, this is your inner energy, your inner fuel. So it's so easy to match.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep. Perfect. Perfect. And because it's now virtual, you can look broader than your own area as well.
true. Great point.
Perfect.
Are they all virtual now, Yinka? Mostly.
Mostly. Depending, some countries are already open.
Because I didn't look outside my area. I didn't realize I did look in South Africa because I'm going to South Africa, but I didn't look any further afield because of travel. So maybe I'll do a bit of that this week.
Yeah, what I noticed that from the TED.com website, they're not always so ahead with updating their pages there. Sometimes it's easier just to find them on social media and to get their information there than you find on the page. They should, but you never know. Yeah, you never know. So wonderful to hear from you, Renata. Thank you. And Rebecca, what did you find?
So I actually found it quite overwhelming and not really easy to engage with. Like, I don't know, because what I was finding, like if I started with London, but a lot of things I was finding is there's one for NHS, one for BAME, one for LGBT. So it was like really, and so far I found nothing that I fit into. And then I went on to looking at past talks, but then it just sort of gives you past talks and not very clearly signposting the event. So unless I've missed a trick, and I completely appreciate I might have done, but I didn't find there was like a directory where it was like, okay, so TEDx Houston is this, TEDx,
you won't find it.
Yeah, so I found it really not like very time consuming, and so far I haven't found anything. And I don't know whether that's because London's so niched, like you get something for NHS, you get something for LGBT, you get something
there are many
education, do you know what I mean? And then I was just like, oh my gosh, and then you kind of like zoom in on the map to get it. And then like every time you come and you come back, it like expands it again. So I just found the whole thing not very easy necessarily to navigate and quite time consuming.
It isn't mine. So
yeah.
It isn't, and it isn't always up to date, and it is the only way to really research the whole thing.
Yeah.
So for Shali, can you help about the London area, because you did some digging in? Can you help Rebecca a bit?
Sure. There, in terms of what? In terms of the links, or in terms of events that I found?
Yeah, and how does the London area work? Because you can't go with HR on TED Ed, TED Education. What did you find in the London area? What is attractive for us as a group? What can be attractive for Rebecca? Where does she need to look to see the trees in the woods?
Okay, so so there's a couple of events, but some of them have already been done this year, like TEDx Women. Yep. That was done in February. There's other smaller TEDx events, but you have to, I don't know if you did the 2 links that I posted. Did you have a look at those 2 links?
Yeah, that's the 2 links I was looking at. And probably quite naively, I thought it would be easier than it was. Like I was actually like, oh my God, this is going to take days and days.
No, it can be knowing where to look and things like that. So I'm just gonna try and find the link. There's one for TEDx events, and when you click on that, you can search by location and by like just TEDx events, and some of them are online, and some of them have been pushed back to being sort of live in person. And hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. Here they are, TEDx events. I'm just opening up the link so I will share my screen, but I'm on my phone because my laptop's not working, the camera. So when you go into the link, and it says explore TEDx events, so you could put in London.
So that's what I've been doing.
Okay, great. And then did you notice there's a whole list of like TEDx London Business School?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what you were talking about, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. And then I went, okay, so I looked at the map and I basically took a photo on my phone, because I suddenly realized every time you go into the map and zoom in, if you click on an event and go, when you come back, it shows you the world again. And then I started working out, okay, there was, and I looked around and there was like London, like NHS, London Waterloo, London Women's South, Euston, King's Cross, London Business School, Euston Prep. So when you start going in them, a lot of them, what I was finding, are quite specialized. So they'll have like a new world, pushing boundaries. But when you then think, oh, that might be quite good, then when you look at past events and you look at the speakers consistently, who they get on I made notes. So for instance, TEDx Houston is pushing boundaries, and that is BAME. So they consistently just have BAME speakers. And then so some of the salons, there'll be, or like the pushing boundary ones are lots of like LGBTQT, and it's about that. It's about pushing boundaries in that, being transgender and pushing boundaries where you are.
Yeah,
and a lot of the speakers have that. So I started going through them, and it was just like, oh my gosh, this is a minefield if you have to do this for the entire world, if you can speak anywhere online. So it was like, and there doesn't, but
Sorry.
if that's the only way to do it, that's the only way to do it, right? I just was wondering if I was missing a trick and being like,
no, that's one of the ways to do it, right? So that's one of the ways to do it. The other way to do it is if you're speaking to TEDx speakers, like I interviewed someone called Ben Chai last week, and he's very connected to organizers and speakers. So you could also network and talk to people that you know that have done TEDx events. The other thing is, someone contacted me on Instagram because she wants to do a TEDx talk, and she'd already been talking to someone in Ireland and in Brazil in their events. So, you know, keep sharing that you want to do a TEDx talk, and people will come to you, or you will attract people to you in your sort of space who you could ask. But the other thing is to, so what, and so one of the other things is to go on this site and have a look. And one of the things you could do is, if you're not bound by location, you're happy to do it online, then you can find the ones that are most recent and that are looking for speakers. Also, I've joined a few Facebook groups for TEDx speakers, and last time in January, there was someone that put a calling for speakers for a TEDx event in Pakistan, which I was able to share with the group. So there are different ways that you can pull opportunities towards you and look for opportunities.
You can put in that site where you have the world map also the specific date or time or month what you're searching for. So if you search for events, certain area, Europe, May, it will show up as well.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Just look at the filters.
So I've put in.
Can I quickly
London.
say I'm sorry for being late?
Rebecca, honey, welcome.
Hi. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for being late. Yeah, thanks. Just a note, Rebecca. How do I put this? I've seen Euston as well, and it is particularly like multicultural. But I think BAME is quite a problematic word to use to describe people from Black and minority ethnic cultures. It's kind of like a encapsulating word, but I think I don't know. There's a lot of debate around that use of that term, and I feel like
there's lots of debates around what do you call it. I mean, if you talk to someone in the States, they say like women of color, for instance, and I'm like, well, I'm not translucent, I'm white, like I have a color. So I don't mean it derogatory, and I appreciate it was just trying to very succinctly say kind of what it represented, or it was. I know some people have an issue with if you say it's like culturally diverse, like it's a minefield. It wasn't meant for any offense at all, or any kind of like it's you know what I mean, it was just meant to be kind of like capturing it to see that I, being white from the UK, that's my heritage, that's my culture. It doesn't necessarily, I just wouldn't fit into that bracket. That's what I was trying to say. So no offense, man.
Yeah, that's fine, thanks.
Rebecca, two things. Rebecca Werner, sorry. Firstly, don't let that stop you from applying to Euston, because there's an angle that you can come in at. Always, you can always find an angle, and Nienka's like an example of that, where she'll just take any theme of an event and work your talk into that theme. So you can always create a really strong case for your idea. Secondly, the way to navigate this site, I would say, is pick the month you want to talk at. So I don't know if we've had this conversation yet, Nienka, with you guys, with all of you, but what we did with the last group is we said pick the date and the month you want to do your TEDx talk.
We didn't set that goal in this group. It's fun to do. Oh,
Yeah, so when you do that, then it's easier. So for example, trying to get a talk in March is going to be quite difficult, March and April. But if you said, I want to do a talk in July, I've just put in July, okay? There are loads of events in July all over the
Okay.
world,
Okay.
from China, Israel, India, Spain, the UK, and Slough. You've got TEDx Slough on July the 8th. You've got lots of different locations for all of July. So I would say pick it by month that you think you can get yourself prepared to do this talk. And that way you can start to reach out to some of them. So for example, there's one in TEDx Cambridge. If I go onto the page, they've got the organizing team, the organizer there that you can contact, and it says where. So, and it's a salon type, but yeah, so just, I would say, let's do that conversation, Nienka, with them, and have you guys create when you're going to do your talk, what month.
Let's do it now.
Okay.
Do it now, because
right.
you've been searching, but I just want to hear from Shirley first, if there's anything still what you want to share about your search.
Oh, no, I searched by month and looked at what I would get myself prepared for. And I just went on to have a look at what I'd come up with. Because there's one in Exeter on the 17th of June. And then there's one in Bristol in November. So I put down a few just to stagger them. And I only went literally for like driving from here to not very far.
Good.
And then I picked South Africa because why not? If I'm
So
going to South Africa, I might as well. And it's,
so let's start with you. Just for the fun of goal setting and just have the vision, like our little Dia of 11 years old did, that she envisioned she would be in New York. Let's pick something. So Shirley, when do you want to be where with your TED Talk?
I would quite like to do the one in South Africa. I would
And
find
that
it
is
very
on?
inspiring, and that's on the 30th of September.
Good. Great.
Yeah.
Put it down.
Yep.
Let's stick to it.
So
You set your date. Good.
Should I just stick to the one? Because I was thinking it'd be quite nice to do one in England as well. And
Well, it can be your first TED Talk and second and third, whatever, you know.
Quite like to do Slough or Exeter. I don't mind which.
And when are they?
One is in June and one in July.
Pick something for your first TED Talk.
For my first TED Talk, Exeter in June.
Good. Nailed. Put it down.
Okay.
And what June is it?
Pardon?
What date is it in June?
In June, it doesn't give us 17th of June.
17th of June.
17th.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I would just add, Shirley, that, and to everyone actually, when you pick your date, something that Dia did, which was very cute, was created a vision board. And she had like the TEDx name and her red circle picture on this vision board. And she had the name of her talk. It's simple, just do it, on her vision board. And she shared it on Instagram and Facebook. And I'm not saying you need to share it everywhere, but just, you know, think about creating that as a vision board, and then, you know, working your plan, reverse engineering it back to now, like what you need to do to create that. So just wanted to add that bit in.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So just create it in a style that it works for you. Some are from vision boards, some just have a big date on their computer screen. I don't care, as long as it's on top of your mind and you're really going for it. Yeah.
I do have it on a vision board on my computer.
Perfect.
So I've created a vision board, and it, like, you know,
add it
it's
in.
the beginning of. Just
add it
to
in,
add
Shirley.
as I work through each piece.
Perfect. Perfect. Happy?
Yes, great. Thank you.
Good.
I'll go for those too.
Good. Good, good, good. Bex, how about you?
Sorry, I really struggled to click mute then. I'll mute. I don't know why. So I feel like Vishali, you created July, so I'm going to go with that. That feels aligned. I'm going to do it. July. So
2021.
2021. Yes, July 2021. I've already got TEDx on my like a picture of TEDx on my vision board. So I'm going to go and add now the date, and I will do a bit of like searching by that and see what comes up.
Good. Excited?
Yeah.
Happy? Good. Let's go. Renata, how about you?
Okay, so I found one in Frisco, which is kind of in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's about 4 hours from me, and that's on September 17th.
Okay. Perfect. Let's go for it. Perfect.
Renata, does that one have a theme to it?
That one does not have a theme, but I connected with one of the organizers on social, and I feel very aligned with her.
Okay, great. And where is it? What's the location?
Frisco?
I like the sound of Frisco.
Very Texas, yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Rebecca, how about you?
I found quite a few, but they're mainly in London. There was one that because I wasn't really looking at a theme. I was looking at things that were quite similar to what the talk I would be doing, what people had already done. So I was looking under that and seeing if my topic had come up at all, which it had in various different places. But there were some that were doing independent talks, like the Houses of Parliament. Lems Sasay did one, and it seemed like it was more of a one-off talk, and they don't usually do it in those places that often, it seemed like. So I was looking at TED Global London, and I came up with Houston, and Amsterdam, as well as
When is Amsterdam? November again?
Exeter. There was one in, some of the ones I saw were ones that were past, and I wasn't seeing a lot of future dates for the ones that I was looking for.
Maybe if you put in month, usually TEDx Amsterdam is in November, December, TEDx Amsterdam Women too.
Yeah, it was TEDx Amsterdam Women. That one came up, Houston came up, and Exeter and London. Those were the ones that I were looking at. But I was thinking of doing it in end of July, August. So I'd say August. Often
there are not that many end of July, beginning of August. So just pick for yourself what you want and just make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I'll pick July then.
In July, you don't have many in the UK. You have in the States, in Egypt, Mexico, Uganda, Italy, Brazil, South Korea. You've got one in Bath. It's a salon event in Bath.
I won't go for a salon.
Yeah. You've got one in Ireland, in Dublin.
You won't.
But it's the university event, so I don't know how easy it's going to be for you if you're not.
Depending if you can connect your topic to any universal topic.
Oh, any universal topic, did you say?
Yeah, the event I just ran with the team was a TEDx University event, and I think we had about 50% of the speakers from the university or connected with the university, and the other 50% was just matching the theme. The only thing they said, they needed to come from the area. We fixed that, sort of. For example, I worked with the lady who had a stroke, Linda. The theme was outsmarting ourselves, ? So all the robotica and future technology, solar races, whatever came up. But she outsmarted herself physically, and then she was on. And she didn't have any connection with the university. She lived sort of in the area, but they were so fascinated that she outsmarted herself. They just clicked on the theme. So we can make it happen. Yeah. Vaishali, anything to add?
No, just choose the month and then choose your location and go for it.
Yep.
And again, like I don't know if you catch the conversation we had with Bex. You can, take your theme of your talk and just link it to any theme of an event. Working with Nienke, you can just kind of, she like molds your theme into the theme of the talk. So I would say also don't worry too much about that. If you want to really get your TEDx talk out, don't worry too much about whether it's Euston or something like that, unless it's really important to you that it is Euston. Just you can mold it to any theme of the event as long as they're open to that. And it's always worth having that conversation and seeing. And that's all.
Is it worth like traveling? Because I did see some in Mid-Atlantic. I think, the Mid-Atlantic in DC. There was a few that were kind of similar to, on the same kind of lines.
Yeah, but they will never pay you, and they never pay you travel costs. So if you want to invest, that's fine.
Yeah, that's what I saw. And that's why I was thinking London would be just easier. Sorry?
When I did it in Slovenia, they didn't pay for my flights, they didn't pay for my accommodation. Did they? No, they didn't. But it was just an opportunity for me that I didn't want to miss. First of all, to get that slot, but secondly, I've been to Slovenia and I wanted to travel, so I combined like my passion for travel with the fact that I've got this opportunity and I don't, and it just felt so aligned and flow in that. I know it sounds quite wishy-washy, but that's how it was for me, and I went for it. So I would say, if you are so, like, Dia really wants to talk in New York, so I think she's an 11-year-old from our previous course, but she's like, I want to talk in New York, so she will pay the cost and her mum will pay the accommodation for her to talk at that particular event. So
I think she will fundraise, knowing her now.
Yeah. So if there is a particular location you do want to talk at, go for it.
Yeah.
If you're willing to pay the costs and everything to be at that particular location, why not?
Yeah. And I remember one of the guest speakers of last year of the technical university we were collaborating with in the eastern part of the Netherlands, near Germany. One of a colleague in common called Jez Razul from London, he even flew in to have the kickoff speaker training for me. So he flew in for 4 hours training. And then he came back for the event and he paid everything himself because he just wanted to do a TEDx talk. So yeah, it's just a matter of choice. And if Shirley wants to go to South Africa, well, yeah, okay, yeah, let's go. If you're going there anyhow, okay, yeah, make it happen. So I think it's a good idea, but just have it focused. And from focus, you make it happen. And that's Vaishali is the biggest example for it. Just go for it. It's just the mindset, and you have each other here. We have us and you have each other to keep you accountable for the whole thing. So have fun. Let's do so. We have four months and dates perhaps. So it's great to see. Help me with my fluttering memory. Who wanted to speak about the tagline? Still Shirley, but there was someone else. Rebecca, you did. Shall we just create a bit of space around the tagline and your questions around that? Rebecca, shall we start with you?
Yeah, I've kind of got a tagline, but I didn't really know whether it was
Tell me. What's your
very
tagline?
clear. It's basically to empower Black foster children to live a life that's powerful and a life they love. And I'm not sure about the empower at the first part of it, because I've said it later on as well. So it might be more about you know, transform the lives of Black foster children to live a life that's powerful and one they love. But I don't know whether that's, you know, strong enough.
Firstly, it's too long.
Okay.
If you look at a very short, catchy title, where you will be announced, for example, with your TED Talk, it won't even fit on a Facebook post. You know?
Okay.
So short and powerful is easier. Transform the life of Black foster children, and then you talk in your talk about how and why. But it's at least a title what people say, huh? Haven't seen that one before.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yes, that helps. Yeah, I did think it was a bit long, so I wasn't sure.
And give yourself space to do in the pitch and later on in your talk more explanation. But first they have to really see the title and be hooked. So it can be even provocative. You know, it really sort of or creating curiosity. That helps a lot. And if you find the title, type it in somewhere and see if it comes up somewhere.
Yeah. I did look at it to see if there was past TED Talks in that era, and I was kind of surprised because there's some like stuff around adoption and things like that, but not anything around this particular area.
Good.
It
It's
didn't
your
seem
niche.
like it had been done.
Hallelujah. World is open for you. Hey.
Okay.
I like it. Yeah. So it's opportunity. It's your space to fill for all those children need. Great. Any more questions? Does it help you this way?
No, that's all.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Shirley, how about you?
I'm still really struggling with my strapline because I just didn't get really I mean, I didn't get that what you and I worked with was what I really wanted to call it. And I sort of stopped with it and thought, well, it'll come and I'm just going to sit with the process. But part of it was around speaking. What I came up with was speaking for the unspoken, but that doesn't really say what it is.
But it's catching curiosity.
Yeah, that's a very powerful tagline.
Speaking for the unspoken was what I came up with.
I find that very powerful, and I'm curious about that. I don't know.
Okay.
Let's check in with everyone. Renata saying she likes it too. How does everyone else, connect to that? Bexy saying she likes it.
Yeah. And if you want to make it personal, you can also say, I want to speak for the unspoken.
Okay.
Because then it's not abstract, it's you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Back to your questions.
Thanks, everyone. That
Yeah,
answers my questions.
I think mine is, I think again, it's too long. I'm trying to make it a bit snappier. Mm-hmm. There's I feel there's something about setting free.
So throw us online so I can hear.
So I don't know if it's like setting, I don't know if it's like breaking free or setting free from the good girl expectation. I focus a lot on perfectionism and breaking free from the shackles of perfectionism to truly like live full out.
There is a lot about setting free and perfectionism. I can tell you a lot. Freeing yourself from the good girl syndrome isn't.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of, but there is tons and tons and tons on the other keywords. How to set free from your good girl syndrome, or why are not set free yet from your good girl syndrome. Whatever in that area, this is way more attraction than free yourself from perfectionism, because it's a bit of overkill.
Yeah.
And again, it's for you too. This is just a tagline, a title, or something. What keep the attraction, the attention and attraction from the organizers. It doesn't mean it's set in stone. It needs to
Yeah.
be your title, but this is how this is a pitch ready course. So don't be confused. You have to have everything for your TED talk ready here. This is where we teach you in depth, in detail, to catch the attention of TED organizers to get you on that stage. So we won't work on a full TED talk. We talk on a pitch with you here in those weeks. So it needs to really, you need to feel that it resonates with you, but it doesn't need to be set in stone. Does that free you a bit, Bex?
Yeah, and obviously I'm a recovering perfectionist, so I'm like, oh my god, I have to get it out.
I know. We help you.
You know,
so that yeah.
I just wanted to add to what Nienke said. When I went in to do my TEDx talk, my idea was like, yeah, I want to empower women's self-expression through the creative arts. That is my theme, you know, like that was my tagline. And then, so that's what I pitched. And then when I actually got the slot based on that pitch, the theme changed because the organizer said, okay, can you give me two different themes from this idea? And one was, one was body's intelligence, like our body has intelligence, body carries, information. And the other one was trauma. And I was like, I don't really want to talk about trauma because one, I'm not an expert. Two, I don't really even know what trauma is. Me, trauma? Have trauma? No. But you know what I mean? So, and then I chose they wanted me to do the trauma one. And my whole tagline changed. It was like, your body has intelligence, which is very different from empowering women's self-expression through the creative arts. But I got that information in about empowering oneself through the creative arts in my talk. So does that make sense? So whatever your themes are, your taglines are, that may not be the tagline that you actually talk about, but your whole
get attention. Get attention. That's the whole thing.
To get attention, and then it doesn't. Then you can like amend it and etc. etc. So
build on it. Yeah.
Something like, I think Shirley, you were like, yeah, I probably say something like, free yourself from being the good girl.
Yep.
I found that really empowering this week, Bex. I kept going, stop being a good girl, do what you want. So it really helped me this week. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I was doing some online stuff with my team, and I kept thinking about Nienke's spinach. I was like, slow down, not so much spinach. So thanks.
Yeah, wonderful. You know, it's good that you say this, Shirley, because I trained some people. You might know them, Vic Morai in Canada, and his team, and they're really into the whole setting of Landmark 2. And there was one of the participants who talks very fast, and they've been telling her for 20 years, there's Hope Bex, 20 years, slow down. And she was never able to catch it until the practice of, I think she chose Beetroot, by the way, it doesn't matter. And she sent me a message. Finally, I got it. I had a 3-hour training, and I never was too fast, and the whole team was in awe because she made it, because it clicked somewhere in her head that she wasn't at service if she would speak too fast. So it's wonderful to see. Wonderful.
So guys, what I'd like to do, Nienke, what I'd like to do now is just have everyone reiterate their tagline as we go into the next part, which is really fun, which is where Nienke's going to help to...
Yeah, but I first want to go to Renata, because we haven't talked about hers yet.
Okay, sorry.
So, and then we go to the next part. Is that okay? Renata, there you go.
Okay, so what I had after watching the video from last week was empowering women to nourish their bodies. I don't think it's particularly catchy though.
How about making it into a question? Why women don't know how to really nourish their body? Something like that.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
instead
Writing
of
it
a
down.
how about or a just a this is what you do.
Mm.
So you can sting them a bit. Uh-huh. So they feel, ooh, are we not doing that? Ooh. At least you
I
have
like that.
attention.
Yeah. No, I really like that. The one that you just mentioned, why women don't know how to nourish their bodies. That's
Or
like,
yet you can even,
yeah.
because when then, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was easy.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's why you're here. That's why I love working with you girls. You know, it's so fun. Vashali, back to you.
So just want to check. Oh, Shirley's saying why exclusively women? Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Does it just have to be women, Renata?
It doesn't just have to be women, but I think I primarily work with women, and so
It's for the
feel like-
first TED Talk. The second
Yeah.
one is for men too. Yeah.
yeah, it'll be my follow-up, my sequel.
I think men have much less clue on how to nourish their bodies than women. It was really interesting having lived with my husband for 30 years. When he decided he really wanted to lose weight, his sudden learning about actually like that, he had no clue. And I've been dieting for 30 years. So you think he'd have a clue. and he's very in touch with his feminine side. He's a hairdresser. But it was really interesting for me to see that he knew about nourishment, but not about some of the stuff that was very obvious to me. So that's why I just asked that question.
Yeah, the same thing here. My husband became diabetic. So and he didn't have a clue. And then he will say, you know, have a variation. And then he had meat already in a day. And then he will just eat green beans for dinner. Yeah. I gave up. Renata, do you know this one?
I have seen that one. Yes.
Yeah. Please read it.
Okay.
Please read it. Please do.
Okay, so I just want to check in with Rebecca and Shirley. What are your taglines? Because I'm just typing them up. So I got Bex's and Renata's. If you could just repeat yours, Rebecca and Shirley, that would be great.
Yeah, while you guys were talking, it started to make me think maybe my tagline wasn't, you know, as catchy. So I've got two possible other ones. One's the Forgotten Black Children, and one is Why Are Black Children Forgotten?
Second one I would do.
Okay.
Yeah. Good pick.
Yeah.
You guys are getting so good at this.
That's awesome, Rebecca. I love that. The second one's fantastic.
Thank you. I got it from
Mine
you
is-
guys because you guys have been like questioning queries, so it
No,
came
this is
together
a
from
source
all
of
you.
inspiration for each other. That's why we love this group so much, just because it's so hands-on with each other. And that's what the feedback we got from the other group as well. They said, you know, on our own, we have never done to the level we are now. We couldn't have made it. So that's why Vashali and I love doing this. So, okay, Shirley.
Speaking for the unspoken. I think that's definitely for me.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can even add still again, if you want, I'm speaking for the unspoken, because it's your talk, isn't it? Unless you want us all to speak for the unspoken, but that's a different angle. So, but we will find out later on in this session.
Or speaking up for the unspoken. I am speaking or speaking up for the unspoken also.
Or being a voice for the unspoken. That's just throwing in a different one there.
Good.
Great. Over to you, Nienke, for the next part, which is so much. I love this part because you guys are going to come out of this bit so like, okay. So
Okay.
over to you, Nienke.
Okay. Now we have your area where you want to speak about this whole theme. You're more clear about it. Have you all been on the master classes? Yeah, no. So I will go over it. Just to remind you, it's always good to refresh. In every audience all over the world, there are always 4 types of people in the audience, how they digest your information. I will just cover them quickly. You will have a group who wants to know, why is this topic important? Why is it important to me? Why should I listen to you? Or what's in it for me? Why should I listen to you? The why people. They're often fast, sitting in the front row, and they just want to know the why around the whole thing. If you can calm their brain, how they digest the information, if you cover why you're doing this, they will listen to you the whole entire thing. Yeah. So that's the why driven people. And then if you have been in training or coaching people or being in front of groups, you will recognize the second group, and that are the people who are more detailed oriented. They want facts and figures, proof. And you can recognize them by the question, what exactly do you mean? They want details. Do you know them? Do you recognize them? They won't rest. You know, you can say, okay, well, today we travel from A to B because it's necessary today. Okay, but when do we start? How many people are coming? Is there a break in between? What time is the estimated time? Now, I have to pick up my kids at 4. Can we be at 3:30? Here, fact-based driven people. What? So that are the what people. And then you have a group who totally understand the reason why you speak. They don't care about detail often at all. They roll up their sleeves, and you can recognize them by the question, how do I do this? They want to take action. They want to hear practical examples, case studies, storytelling. And then they're happy because they can see the picture. They're totally happy if you can just calm their brain and make it just as a vision for them. So don't give them just boring details, give them something vivid. Use smell and sound, and really make it alive for them. And they say, yay, great, that's how I can do it too. Great, great, great. Then they're with you. And then there is this last very select group, and I can honestly say I'm one of them, but I got over it a bit. I'm calmer. This is the group. If you are in front of a group, they always raise a question too early. Then this hand goes up, and you're not there in your stuff and in your content already, but they raise their hand. You see that hand coming often, by the way. And the question is, yes, but what if? I call them the what ifers. They are fast thinkers, fast talkers often as well. They are analytic. They really, they can see stuff quickly, and they want to move on. And they don't have the patience to wait for all the detail of the what people. Don't you get that why already? But what if we do this? And then they go. Do you know what ifers? Shall I tell you my story about my what if? Shall I just be vulnerable and share my story? Yeah, okay, for Shali, I will. Okay, there was a time that I felt Renata, this is for you. I had to reset my whole digestion, because I was told if you do a huge reset, it's helpful for your hormones, all your organs get reset. And I thought, okay, I'm into menopause, I'm putting on weight. Okay, let's do so. And a very sort of reliable friend of mine advised this. Okay, I give it a shot. So I got into this Facebook group, and I got a coach. And the whole strategy was just to eat an enormous amount of fat and greasy food for about 3 days. Yeah, sorry, Renata, it's okay. I got over it. For 3 days, and then radically change in nothing greasy at all. It's okay. It's okay, Renata. It's okay. So, okay. I'm sort of, I don't eat much. I eat healthy as far as I can. I don't like fried stuff. So I had to be on, I think, 2,500 calories extra a day. So I felt like, I couldn't stand any Ben and Jerry's ice and fries, and I couldn't get the grease in. I felt really, really sick. But anyhow, I stick to the whole 3 days, and I did the reset. I was in the reset. Oh, I'm easier with, cutting out all the fat and sugars. But I think a week in the training or so, or in this program, a 4 or 5 weeks program, can't even remember. I got a note from my coach that I wasn't allowed to put anything with fat on my skin as well, because it's the largest organ, and you're not allowed to do anything on it. So no body lotion, no, and no makeup. Now the whatever in me woke up, because in 2 days' time I had a TV interview for the Dutch national TV. No way I would do that without any makeup. All women on here, you can imagine, no way. And normally I have just this black wrinkles just still here, so no way. So I thought, okay, be a good girl. I reached out to my coach and I asked her, okay, I know I need makeup, so I need 2 needle drops of foundation to cover myself on Dutch national TV. Then it will be okay. I don't have to just put everything on, but just 2 drops. Is that okay? She didn't know. She had to phone the head coach. I thought, the whatever in me got very, very restless on this. Because I just wanted to know, what if I use 2 little drops of foundation? What happens in my whole 6 week diet? She phoned me back and said, yes, you can do it, but you have to do the whole program 2 days longer. I thought, fuck up, come on, no way. And I quit the whole diet. I put on 3 kilograms of eating my whole bunch of fatty stuff for a couple of days, and I went back to my whole normal healthy lifestyle. That's my what if story. I couldn't believe, what if I have 2 drops of foundation? Just the whatever couldn't take it, so I quit the whole program, and I came back to my common sense. So the what if. So the why, people, why should I do this program anyhow? What does it contain? How do I do it? And what is the end result? What can I do with it? So if you look at how to create a pitch, how to create your TED Talk in the end, you have to cover those 4 areas in this order, because you can't start with the what if. It will freak people out, because you have to take the other types as well with you. So if you start with the why, the whatever can bear it. If you start with facts and figures and details, you will lose the other 75% of the audience, because often the other group can't take it. So first the why, then the what, provide facts and figures, prove. If I teach in Germany and I have a handout, they're more wired, more detail oriented in Germany. The bigger the handout, the better the course. that's how they perceive it. So that's fine. So I'm happy to help them. So I spend less time in Germany on the why and a bit more on the what. America often wants to know a big why. If you don't cover the why you're talking about it, they're lost. And I think for most Western European, northern hemisphere countries is the same. So just check. How was that in Slovakia, Vashali? Because I can imagine they're more detail oriented as well. And if I see what they asked you, that's very detailed.
So in Slovenia, I was told, so I was just told to focus on trauma because it's not something that they were very much aware of. It's quite a conservative audience. And so I think the organizer was someone that had quite rebellious streak in her. So she was like, focus on trauma. And what you're bringing is something new and different to them in your TEDx talk. And when I finished the talk, she said to me, oh, you were flirting with the audience. I said, yeah, I get like that when I'm in the flow of my talk and I flirt with the audience. And she said, yeah, it's a very conservative audience. So I thought, I apologize. And she said, no, it's good. They probably needed it.
Yeah.
So for them, it also depends on, what the organizers wants to do with the events and the talk. But they were a lot more conservative, probably not so much the type that would go out of themselves to do some of the things that I was asking them to do, like close your eyes, focus on your breath, move your body or act and stuff like that, because they had a history of war, suffering, and so they didn't really talk about emotions and the ways how they felt. So the topic I was bringing to them was so out of their realm, because it's like, hey, I'm talking about self-expression and finding and sharing your innermost thoughts and feelings through dance, through drama, through art.
Yeah. It goes even further like that, because they have been on the Soviet regime in the eastern part of Europe, and it was very dangerous to speak. So they have difficulty of free expression, or what we love, they do. So I work with quite a few. So you have to have this in mind. If you speak in the areas we've been searching, that's okay. Surely, I don't know how it is in South Africa.
I was just thinking that may not go down well in South Africa, because also speaking for the unspoken in South Africa has a completely different connotation.
Exactly. And if you explain it in your theme and they might open up completely, but you will have their attention for sure. That's the most important thing.
And of course, I do have experience of growing up in apartheid South Africa. So
yeah,
there is some stuff in there that I could bring in.
Yeah, awesome. So bear in mind the why people, the what people, the how people, the what if people. So what we're going to do is to create your pitch. And in the previous group, we asked to create for 3 minutes. Now, if you have 1 minute, it's 8 sentences in Word. So 16 sentences. To make it very easy, 4 lines about the why, 4 about the what, 4 about the how, 4 about the future perspective in the what if. So what if you do this? Just to make it very simple and not easy. Yeah. So what I will do with each of you is, I can't promise it's exactly 4 sentences, but I want to grab your tagline and dive into the material you have and give you an example what it could look like. You know your content the best. So I give you an example and it will be recorded again. I want to start with Renata because you haven't worked in this way last session with me. So you want to wake people up about nutrition and particularly women. You worked, if people work with you, how do they work with you?
So we do one-on-one coaching, and I provide them with meal plans, and we talk about their specific like wellness goals and how they can
What is the best result you got?
One of my clients lost 13 inches over her body.
But that's a number. What's her health? Because you're talking about health.
True. Improved energy, sleep, improved mental cognition, how she felt about herself was improved. So self-confidence, self-belief had improved.
Okay. So let me give it a shot. So what is your tagline again?
It is why women don't know how to nourish their bodies.
Isn't it time we all wake up? Wake up in the area of how we feed ourselves, the right nutrition. Because when I look around and I studied, I could see there are tons of diets. What can even kill you? Everybody seems to know what the right solution is, but often we overlook what's really healthy for our individual bodies. So I am a nutrition coach. I work with people and I really look into what's possible to increase energy, not because of a caffeine boost, but through right nutrition. Because everybody is different and every body is different. So now it's time to dive in to the individual meal plan, lifestyle, so no one who has to suffer again and go on a repetition of a diet. I don't know how many sentences that is, but I think you can extend a bit longer. But do you see what I do?
Yes, that was really good. I particularly enjoyed some of the words that you used and how the flow of how you started with something that was very emotionally triggering and then went into like some of the information and then rounded it out. That was really great.
Yeah, so I really suck them into the topic. And then I give them more facts and details around it. You can have drawers full of proof what goes wrong in this. Well, you don't have to dive deep to get the real results out, but relate them to what you see. Don't make them too general because people will know. You can also make it personal. When a client came to me, my client named them, came to me. I can see she's suffering. She's overweight. She doesn't sleep. She can't cope in her work. She is whatever. So you can just alliterate the whole things of that. Just see if that's really you. Because in the previous course, we had someone who got someone in and she drifted off of herself. So just feel if you can make it you and just play with it. This is play field for everybody. I give you a direction and then play and have fun. Yeah. Okay. Do you have enough material to play with?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Renata. Oh, no, wait, just Rebecca. Sorry. I'm just sort of looking Yeah. Rebecca, how about you?
How about me?
Yeah, your tagline. Which one do you want to pick?
I'm picking why Black fostered children. Well, why Black children forgotten.
Yeah. So and you picked this because
I picked this, what, the tagline or the topic?
No, your topic.
I
Your why.
picked it.
Why did you pick the topic?
My why, because I was a Black experienced foster care child, and I had felt forgotten. And I have noticed that there is a lot of Black foster children here. When was that?
Yeah, when did you suffer from being a Black foster child?
From when I was a baby and until I was 9.5.
Did you realize as a baby you were suffering, or is it looking back? Because sometimes it's hard to relate to feel that you suffer as a baby for the audience.
No, I'm not saying I suffered as a baby. I was just, you were asking when I was fostered, so I was just giving you the timeline of when I was fostered.
Good. And how do you help people in this area?
That's the difficulty, because I don't know how I do, because even though I'm a social worker, I don't work directly with children.
Okay, that can be your drive, no problem. So, okay, let's give it a shot. Opening, just starting. I am a Black foster child. My foster parents did all best they could, I'm sure. And still, I am a Black foster child in a white community. If I look around, I see that the whole adoption and foster child policies have a forgotten area around it. It's not how the parents really want to help the children. It's not that the child might have a better life elsewhere. How is it for the identity of the Black foster child in another country, in another environment? As a social worker, I see suffering, and I feel it's time to give the Black foster children a voice, because they are everywhere. And even there is tourism around it. There is even a whole industry where young students look after Black foster children, but they never feel at home because people come and go. How can you ever root when life is just floating by people who honestly care, but they don't know? For me, it's time to step up and give voice to the Black foster children and give attention to what they really need, because it should be all about them. Future's perspective?
Yeah, I do like that.
Good.
Yeah, I do like that.
And again, also with you, Rebecca, I'm just tapping into your energy, to what I heard from you. You need to make it yours. Because if you only stick to what you hear from me, you won't own it. So I give you play material.
Okay.
And I stick to the 4 areas. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Why you would speak about it, what is it about, how does it feel? So I did slightly different from Renata, but still it's the same order. And that's the reason why I can do it with you guys, because I stick to this order. Otherwise I would just be lost. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
You make it sound so simple.
Yeah, but I do this for a living, honey.
Yeah, that's true. But you just come out with it. It's like it just falls off. Like any topic, you can just spin it.
honey, this is 12 years of experience and daily practice. So don't compare to me. Just enjoy it. You know?
Yeah. No, it's
And
good.
thank you
it's good.
for acknowledging. I really get it. Thank you. Bex, time for you.
Oh, okay. What do you want from me?
Your tagline. And
Tagline.
why you really want this, you know,
Okay.
just
So free yourself from being the good girl. Why? Because I was that good girl, living against everyone else's expectation.
good.
from
How
those
do you
around
got out of it?
Oh, how did I get out of it? I got landmark. I got connected.
You can't say that.
I can't say that, but I got connected. It's like I got connected to me. Like I built. So I built that self-worth, that self-trust in my inner voice.
Okay. Good. And what do you want to give to the world?
That freedom.
Good. Okay. So start with you. I don't know about you, but I am a recovering perfectionist. Anyone here too? Because I know I'm not the only one. If I look about burnouts and all people who drive themselves mad trying to fulfill someone else's dream, it's huge globally. If you look in the Asian countries, there's a lot of suicide around it. If you look in the United States, you see people, or if you look in the Western society, you see people working several jobs just to survive. And if I looked at myself, I was just fulfilling so many other people's wishes. So I got lost. It was until pick a date. You have to pick a date, Bex. That I woke up. I woke up and became an adult because I'm not a girl any longer and I don't have to be the good girl. No one has to be an adult good girl. So my message for all the women in the world is wake up. Wake up to reality. You don't have to live someone else's life. Take responsibility for yours because the future for you starts now. Play material?
Yeah, really good. Really good. Thank you. Yeah.
In your case, to really get the attention, I highly suggest to use that phrase of I'm an overcoming or
A recovering perfectionist.
Yeah, because everybody would laugh about it and then you have them.
Yeah. And it's actually something that I use often. To connect with people. So yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, that's really good. And I think I can almost pinpoint the month. I can pinpoint the despair.
Yeah.
Like absolute despair in my life.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in your real TED Talk, you can extend on that despair and just in storytelling, tweak it around into what uplifted you.
Yeah.
In your pitch, you have 4 sentences for it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I'm so glad this is recorded.
Yeah, me too. Oh, me too. Can you imagine, as you know, I wasn't really a perfectionist, but I had my left and right brain completely balanced, I would say. So I could easily go bam into flow and get it into structure, get it into, that's why I wrote my books and until I got my radiotherapy on it, and it was completely, it's like glue to go to my left brain. So this is nice. This is playing around in my right brain, yay! But please have it recorded because if I have to make it into the right order, done. So no. So okay.
Thank you.
Play with it, Bex. Play.
Thank you.
Good. Shirley.
So tagline is speaking up for the unspoken.
Now your why.
My why. because I really don't want to see people who can't speak for themselves suppressed anymore.
Because
Because I don't. But yeah. Because I think, because I think sometimes people don't realize what it's like for somebody who can't speak for themselves.
do you want to relate it to your son?
Sure. Because I have a son who can't speak for himself.
Yeah.
And I see that for so many people who are on the same journey as I am, it's very hard for many people to speak up even for their child.
Okay, good. Let's work with it. When I'm outside with my eldest child who can't speak, I notice people speak to me, not to them, to him. How would it be for you not being noticed? Or from the other side, if you can't speak up because people don't listen? Globally, there are so many people, at some numbers, who are unseen. And it breaks my heart because I really believe everyone has a right to have their own voice. Can you imagine that you can't speak? That people think for you, speak for you, and even move for you? How would you feel? It's time. It's 2021. Isn't it time that everybody gets a voice? Their own voice, their own rights to be heard. And if they can't make sound, I'm willing to step up and speak with them. Something like that?
Okay. I will play with that.
Yeah.
Because there are elements of that for me that are not true. And so I need to play with that.
It's yours.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
very helpful.
Yeah. So I give you a direction of what is possible.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw from the previous groups, if they take this too literally, they get stuck.
Yeah.
They get stuck. That's why emphasis on the play field with this material even more now. In the previous group, once more, we said the pitch needed to be 3 minutes, but I looked at TED.com and they require a 2-minute pitch. So that's why we condensed it, and people got lost in 3 minutes because they have the whole bunch of 24 sentences. So now you have only 16. And
you.
less is more.
Great. Yeah, no, that's
less
great.
is more. Yeah.
Thank you.
So this is your script. And what we do is for the upcoming week is to create this script. And the sentence shouldn't be longer than 15 words in it. So no ands and buts. And, I call it sausage sentences, If you read it on paper, you got completely lost, Short. That's what I often do if I work with people who have to pitch, is just to say, okay, that's 3 sentences. It isn't 1. It doesn't count as 1. If you have only two words in a sentence, not now, okay, then you can add another sentence, but you do understand what I say. So for Charlie, it's all about the mindset. Is there anything what's withholding this lovely group? That's all to you.
Thank you. So that was some great work with Nyanka, everyone. And as she said, just take that as guidance. It should trigger some themes, ideas that and the direction you want to take your own your own pitch ideas, right? So listen to the recording, and that's part of the homework, which is going to be for tonight, is actually putting together your pitch. So put it together in writing, and just have a go with it. Give up the perfectionism thing, Bex. And anyone else that's got
Play.
it going on, just play. You know, you've got, this is the space to just be creative. You know, really, just, there's nothing about getting it right or wrong. Just be creative. Just throw anything out there. Have 5 versions if you have to. Have one sentence written in 5 different ways if you have to. But just really play with this. Yeah. So what I want to just check in with you all, we've got about 5 minutes, is there anything coming up for anyone right now that they just want to share that, you know, is perhaps, you know, something like, oh, I can't do this, or, oh, I feel overwhelmed, or anything? Is there anything that anyone is that's coming up for anyone that they just, sometimes just voicing it will just get it out the way, and that will have you in a space again of being in aligned action. So is there anyone that wants to share anything that's there at the moment? Yep, go for it, Rebecca.
Yeah, I mean, the way Nenka did it was, I hope I'm saying it right, or at least right. Yeah, the way she did it was really great. But I feel like when I'm left to my own devices, because I feel like I can be quite a perfectionist with things as well. And, you know, doing it, I think I wasn't expecting it so soon that we were doing the pitch. I think I expected it maybe like next week or the week after. So I'm a bit like, I'm like, oh gosh, like it's all great now, but then leaving this group and then doing it on my own, I'm thinking, am I gonna do that? So yeah, that was bound to come up for me. So I thought I might as well just put, you know, speak out before, you know, while I've got the opportunity.
And that's great. It's so, sorry, Nenka, did you want to say something?
No, I just say great you did, and then over to you, Vishali.
Yeah, definitely. It's so good that you've got that outdoor space. You've just said it, and you're not on your own, because we still have 2 more sessions, and you're not going to leave this course. Let me reframe that. You're going to leave this course with a written pitch, a video pitch, the application form. You've already created when you're going to be doing your talk, so you're supported all the way through still for another 2 weeks. You're not doing it on your own. You're just in a space where we're going, go play on your own, go try this out. And you've already shown on this call that when you listen to everybody else, you seem to get into your creative juice, and you just came back with 2 very profound taglines by yourself.
Yeah.
So step into what Nenka created last time about you being not the, what was it? It's not the hero. It was the
role model.
The role model.
The role model.
Yeah.
I have been playing with that. I have been playing with that idea and looking at ways that to step into it. So I have been looking at how to do that.
Yeah. So
and the phrase, if you can't see it, you can't be it. That's also something it's really there. And I just want to give you all for this course a perspective. Like Vashali said, you have the application form, you have a video. Without this, you can't do your application form. So you need to know what you will be speaking about. You need the direction, not to the detail, not to the comma, but you need a direction before you can do the application form. And we will just practice with a video what we will do, just sharing among this group to get you the feedback, to get you really step up and start speaking out. Just like Shirley says, you know, okay, I have it all here, but now verbalizing it, it's totally different. So if you start verbalizing, you will be mumbling. So first on paper, get used to it, then do it on video, have the application form, and in the last session, we combine it all together without being perfect. Because it's still material, material work, you know? The only consistency is change, isn't it? The only thing I won't allow you, in just being a bit of a stubborn teacher, which I'm not, is don't change the topic. because I've seen people say, oh no, I can't really find it. And they choose completely a different topic. Really, really common. It's not like for Charlie's because it's in her. But, you know, if you had something technical and then suddenly speak about, you know, yoga or something, be you and be in this direction. And within that, play. Anyone else?
That helps me. Thank you. Because
Good.
I've just gone into, oh no, I don't know if I can do this topic. Maybe I need to think about something else. So thank you for answering that for me, Nick.
And
You're in my head.
I would just add, if it's confronting you, it's so there for you to go there. You know, like the most vulnerable topics are the ones that make such a difference when we talk about them, because we connect to our own vulnerability when we're talking about them, and they leave such a an impression on the audience. So go there, Shirley. Go there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember when I was called to do something in the field of peace building, I felt, oh my goodness, there are 100,000 people better. I didn't have the experience. But then I realized, you know, I'm born a mile away from the International Peace Palace, and I've been hiding for 52 years to do something with it. It's so uncomfortable. I have to do it. No?
Yep, get that.
Yep. Yep. The more uncomfortable, isn't it, for Charlie? The better it is.
Yeah. I'm just checking in. Is there anybody else that has any, yeah, but what if, and oh my God, just checking in.
Other than just like, I think Yankee just spoke to it, other than just like, you want to do it, but then there's a voice that says, but really, I mean, are you qualified to do it? Like, really?
Thank you for sharing, good girl. Next time I play with you again, now I play with myself. Come on. Yeah. Thank her for just being in touch with you and saying, well, other time again, not now. Good. Renata, anything for you?
No, actually, I'm just really excited to work on the pitch. You said so many great words, and I'm so excited to go back and listen to the recording. But I'm really just writing down lots of words that I want to include that I think are going to be really powerful. Like I'm thinking about nourishing versus punishing, eating sustainably, like sustainable nourishment, feeling good in your body, shame versus no shame. Like I'm just writing down these words that are coming to mind.
Good. And if you don't use them all in your pitch, please don't throw them away. Keep them in your drawer, in your note, whatever. Keep them because they're there for your TED Talk. This is pitch.
Awesome.
To get the organizer's attention. Yeah? Okay. Okay, there we go. So for Charlie?
Yeah, just as we wrap up, just the last thing. For your homework for next week, we want you to put together your written pitch based on the guidelines that Nienke gave, 16 lines, 4 on each, what, why, how, what if, and be very creative.
I will put a doc in the Facebook group with just what you can work with, you know, your theme, 4 of the why, 4 of the what, 4 of the how, 4 of the what if, so you can write it out. I will put it in a Word doc so you can just work with it, just to have it there. Yeah, just to help you in the whole thing. Next week, we will ask you to read out loud what you wrote. So just be prepared. And there is no judgment here, only inspiration to get you to the next level. Can you hear that? So no good girls here, just supportive girls. Yeah?
Right.
Great.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay. Looking forward. See you all next week. Great.
Bye,
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.